Lisa Frankenstein, which is or as my good friend Van Connor, who's a film critic, calls it, Jennifer's Warm Bodies, which is a very good joke.
Why is that a very good joke?
You shall find out.
Okay.
So this is a horror comedy directed by Zelda Williams, daughter of Robin, from a script by Diablo Cody, who won, I think, a BAFTA and an Oscar for Juno, went on to write Jennifer's Body, young adult, Ricky and the Flash, Tully. She also won a Tony for the Alanis Morissette Broadway musical Jagged Little Pill, which I didn't know. This is set in 1989, and in many ways is kind of homage to the fashions and the music of the 80s teen flicks. Catherine Newton is Lisa Swallows, a high schooler whose mother was brutally killed by an axe murderer. It's a comedy, though. Now she lives in a new town with her dad and his new partner, Janet, played by Carla Gugino, and her new stepsister, Taffy, played by Lisa Soberano, and it is not an entirely happy arrangement. Our hero, Lisa, has got the hots for the literary editor of the literary magazine. She's very gothy. She spends her days in the local cemetery talking to a Victorian gravestone. And then following an accident with her sister's tanning bed, yes, really, an awful party, an ill-judged wish, and a lightning strike, the inhabitant of the grave by which she spent so much time, being gothy, is resurrected, looking like a cross between Edward Scissorhands and Edgar Wright, as it turns out. This is Cole Sprouse. He turns up at her house, and initially she's scared, but she hides him in a closet, and then they become best friends. He can't speak, so therefore he is a very good listener. He is missing some body parts, and he's embarrassed about missing the body parts. So, with the help of an axe and the tanning bed and some electricity, they set about getting the body parts back. So, the reason that Van said it's Jennifer's warm body is because there are echoes, obviously, of Warm Bodies and Life After Beth, the kind of teen-friendly cocktail of love and death. Lots of nods to 80s pics like Weird Science. The teens bring fantasy creation to life by wiring up a computer to a thing and a lightning rod and then something blah, 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 blah. There is a Damn It Janet joke from Rocky Horror. Here's the thing. Like the creature at the centre of it, this starts out creaky. It starts out a bit shambling. And that scene that you just saw in which you were complaining about the fact that somebody was looking at the person next to them whilst not looking ahead. Yeah, you're fine. But then, again, like the creature at the centre of it, it proceeds to find its feet and indeed its voice. And then it gets a lot more gleefully gory and vengeful than you would expect. It doesn't have the visual panache of Jennifer's Body, which was directed by Karen Kusama, which is, I think, a very sort of well-made film. And it does lurch around unevenly, particularly in pacing. There are some times in which just the pacing of certain scenes seems alarmingly out of step, again, like the monster. But as the thing proceeds, all those ramshackle elements end up kind of adding to its charm. Now, as far as I understand, this hasn't been embraced by the box office in the US, and I can't see it being a hit here. I think it will struggle to find an audience. But if you stumbled across it late at night on a streaming service, or if when I was doing the Sight and Sound video column, it was videos back then, this had come into it, this would have been film of the week. It's a kind of cross between John Hughes comedies and throwback horror bolted together. So yes, of course, it feels like a number of different things sewn together like a tapestry. But it's kind of enjoyable and lovable and a bit out there, and it's got that Diablo Cody sort of punky feminist feel, which I really enjoyed. And it's got a lovely opening sequence, which is kind of very smart use of the opening is like this animation thing, which is really beautiful. It's got very good use of pop tunes. And I, having started out thinking I'm not going for this at all, I'm finding this quite hard, I ended up being kind of charmed by it and enjoying it much more than I thought I was going to. So, Lisa Frankenstein, much better than I expected, and really nice to see Diablo Cody, doing something which, because she knows her horror inside out. She knows this stuff. She's very funny. She understands how to write this stuff.
Go see it. It sounds like it's worth investing
I thought
in.
so. I think it won't do well. I can't see it setting the charts on fire at all.